This is Amy Adams. Welcome to the podcast, read by me, written by Del Sweet. Copyright 2020, all rights reserved in their entirety. Kansas, March 8th. Fresh snow today. The whole world is covered in clean, white snow. It makes it look like nothing ever happened here. I'm with a man named Tom. He's crazy about me. I just can't feel the same. I could fake it, but I told myself I'm not going to do that. But I can't keep on this way either. It's too hard on him, too hard on me. Bob and Jan Dove are also with us. I don't know what I would do without Jan. She's level-headed where I'm impulsive, a thinker where I tend to just act, a good balance. Bob has an idea of rebuilding his people's lands. He's Native American, and so is Jan. It sounded crazy when he first said it, but after I thought about it, it began to make sense to me. Lydia is the other member of our party. She hates me. That's because Tom wants me and she wants Tom. Maybe that will fix itself before I have to fix it by leaving and going out on my own. Today we decided to see if the city was any better on the other side of the river. It isn't. We crossed the river, the Black River, on a railroad trestle. There is a traffic bridge, and it looks passable, but it's clogged with cars, and some of those cars look purposely placed to block it off. That really creeped me out. We walked across the trestle carefully and went up State Street. There's a store there, a supermarket, and we found tracks in the snow. One person, a man I would guess from the boot tread. I can't tell you what that was like, seeing a footprint left by somebody else, someone else alive in this whole mess. I felt immediately connected to him. I can't say it or explain it any better than that. Like a connection existed forever, and I only had to find it. I tried to explain it to Lydia, but she just shrugged. We have this thing with Tom between us, though. She wants him, he wants me, I don't want him. It could be so goddamn simple, but it isn't. Except the footprints. Maybe the footprints are the answer. I think they are. I believe they are. We just need to find the person, the man, that goes with those footprints, and I don't know. I really don't. But I think he'll know. The one bad thing today, we came across a dead man lying crumpled by the side of the road. I could have sworn he moved, so I hurried to him, but as I got closer, I could see that he was dead. Long dead. We stood for a moment and then walked on. But later, when we came back, he was gone. And I thought, was he dead? Was he? But I know that he was. I suppose that wild dogs or something got him. We didn't talk about it, but it bothered all of us. Mike, March 9th. Maybe it's March 9th. I guess I really don't know. But that's what I think it is, so that's what I'm going with. It's late. I spent today getting food, canned stuff mostly. It was rough. Almost everything is flattened, and what isn't flattened is badly damaged. I spent about 5 hours a few days ago digging my way into a supermarket on State Street. The roof was down but held up by the tops of the aisle stacks, so I was able to make my way through. I just had to be careful of broken glass. That was where I went back to today. I had no flashlight at first, but I managed to get a small flashlight and batteries. I had to take so much stuff out of the front area of the store that all the impulse stuff they sell was right there. Candy, little radios, and of course flashlights and batteries. I tried a small portable radio, nothing but static on the AM and FM bands both. I brought it back with me along with some extra batteries. I listened to it a short while ago. Still nothing. Maybe tomorrow. I spent the entire day at the supermarket digging out canned goods and bringing them back here. Here is the cave. This cave is down in back of the square, downtown as it's called here. I knew about it from growing up here. It used to be bricked up. The quake took care of that, though. I was worried about the cave itself collapsing, but it seems to be fine. It's only about 1.5 miles from here to the supermarket, but with no vehicle, it's slow going. I've been piling stuff up on a large sled and making trips back and forth. I found several cars and trucks, snowmobiles, but none of them will run. Most of them have no juice, but even the ones that do just turn over but won't fire. Maybe if I was a mechanic, I could do something, but I'm not. So, it's the sled and a lot of muscle work. I did notice today, after not going there for 2 days, that no one else had been there either. No tracks in the fresh snow. It's depressing. No way can I be the only freaking guy here, right? And that made me wonder, what the hell am I writing this for? I mean, if there's no one left, who will read it? I guess those are questions for another day. Another day because truly I don't want to deal with them today. So, I spent my day getting food. There are maybe 24 buildings still standing downtown, but that's where I was when I left off writing yesterday, heading for downtown, so I'll pick it up from there. When I got downtown, there was no one there, only the handful of buildings standing as I mentioned, and 2 of those went down a short time later from an aftershock. The police department? Gone. The fire department out Washington Street? Gone. I know, I walked out there. Ditto the high school, all the old houses where the rich people lived, the newspaper, the museum. Really, it's all gone. There are some tracks in the snow, but how old were they? I couldn't tell. And I couldn't tell where they were headed either. I got pretty down about it and ended up walking back down to the square and then down towards the river and back of the square. There was a porn shop still there. It seemed like the filthiest place I'd ever seen. I mean, why would a place like that still be there, still be standing when almost nothing else was? Is that a statement or what? Hey, maybe it is. But since I was down that far, I thought I'd take a look at the river, and that made me think about the cave. This whole area is limestone, caves everywhere. This one just happened to be a big one. It wasn't hard to find it. It's on an old abandoned road below the level of the square, but a good 100 feet or so above the level of the river. All the brickwork that had once closed it off had fallen. The cave itself seemed okay. Some rock had come down from the ceiling, but not much. Most of the rock laying around looked pretty old, like it had been there for some time. Given the buildings, which were still falling, or the cave, I chose the cave. It just seemed to make more sense. It's quite deep. I have no idea how deep it goes, and no inclination to follow it and see. The front area is huge and dry, more room than I could ever use, so there's no need for me to go into that darkness and find out how deep it does go. And that's funny, isn't it? What is it that I'll need? Might need, could need, I don't know. I do know I won't be spending the rest of my life living in a cave, that's for sure. But it's winter. I have to stay somewhere for the next few months. Then maybe when spring comes, I'll head south if no one shows up to rescue me. I guess it would be me. There's no one else here. It shouldn't be that way, though. There has to be more than me. I spent the balance of the afternoon looking around. I walked all the way out to Arsenal Street as well as Washington Street. The mall, or most of it, has collapsed. But I should be able to get some stuff out of it. The interstate is car wrecks and bodies everywhere. I could see it from the overpass. I didn't feel a need to go down there and see it in person. I didn't want to. I haven't really seen many bodies. Some at the mall, some at the supermarket, a few others here and there, but there is so much ground, houses, things missing, that I think the other people just got swallowed up by the quake. There's a lot of raw earth. Most of the streets are messed up. The interstate is like that in places. What I can see, anyway. But close to Arsenal Street, it's all wrecks and bodies. Wrecked and burned vehicles, and it smells horrible. I could smell it long before I came up on the overpass. I've decided it will take a lot to get me to go back out Arsenal Street again. The supermarket has that smell also, and I found 2 people up by the checkouts when I first dug it out, but none since then as I've dug out other parts of the store. Maybe it's the meat department at the back of the store that smells like that. I spent most of the next day wandering around trying to start cars and trucks, calling out to the people I hoped were there. Nothing. I heard something that sounded like an engine running, but it came and went on the wind, and I couldn't tell where it had come from. But I took that as a good sign. It has to be someone, right? I can't imagine being left here alone. I tried to start new cars, old cars, new trucks, you name it. None of them do anything except turn over, but at least their batteries are working, and it seemed as though they weren't the other day. That was also the day that the daylight seemed to last way too long. My watch wasn't working, so I can't say for sure, but the sun just seemed to hang in the sky all day. Then it seemed to sink in the wrong direction once it did set, and I was sick all day, my stomach, and I was lightheaded. The night lasted a long time too, and the sun came back up in the wrong place, unless my sense of direction is off. Maybe it is. In any case, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the earthquakes, I don't know. It could have been, but it doesn't seem possible. The end of the world books were saying the earth would stop and then run backwards. Maybe it did, but I didn't feel weightlessness if it did, or at least I don't think so. But I thought about the vehicles, magnetic poles. Maybe because everything is electronic now, they can't work. I don't know. It's just an idea. But I'm thinking I'll look for an older vehicle to try out my theory on. Like I said, I wish I were a mechanic and then I'd know for sure. I spent a lot of time clearing out the rock and broken bricks in this cave, bringing food in and even some chairs, blankets, things like that. I've collected a lot of firewood and every butane lighter I could find, paper plates, plastic forks and spoons, and man oh man, coffee. I found a small metal coffee pot in an aisle with some camping gear. It works pretty damn well too. I got some heavy-duty pots and pans there also. All of that over the last few days, but still, no other people. It makes me wonder about the tracks that went past my house. Where did they go? Where is there to go? I turn the radio on every once in a while, but nothing. Even so, I'm keeping my attitude upbeat, positive. There has to be other people. Doesn't that just make sense? And winter can't last much past May, and then it will be time to get out of here. Hopefully with other people.